guys, I'm Jen, and I just wanted to speak directly to you about this project and how it started. I started this website, you'renotprettyenough.com, to really promote my writing and storytelling. And I tell a story a lot about how my ex used to tell me I wasn't pretty enough for him. He used to say that to me directly. And while I'm completely over that now, it left a mark. So when I started this, again, I was just it was for my own personal pursuits. But I found that a lot of, I'm assuming, women were finding me and finding my site by Googling some variation of the phrase, you know, how to be pretty when you're not. Will I ever be pretty enough? Am I pretty enough to have anybody like me? Things like that. And I would see it and it would bother me, and there was no space for them to interact on the website with that feeling. So they'd leave right away. And so, you know, I would see that months and months and months, and I didn't know how to respond. I didn't even know if I should respond. So I was like, who am I? But then I saw a news item earlier in the year where about a trend of young girls, middle schoolers, putting videos up on YouTube, asking people to validate whether or not they're ugly or pretty. And if you go and watch them, they're heartbreaking. And what's even more heartbreaking is seeing some of the comments. While some people are, you know, really nice and like, sweetie, don't do that, you know, you're pretty. Others are in equal measure fucking rude. And so I felt like, since I had this unique opportunity to speak back, because my site was one of these that came up when people searched for that, and I felt like if you're searching the internet about that feeling, you know, looking at myself at what's out there, I didn't see that there were many things that were out there where people could talk about this in a meaningful way. So I decided to respond. And I first did that by contacting women's centers at local universities. I live in the Washington, D.C. area. And so I'd contact, you know, local universities set up on campuses, administered hundreds of surveys, and to, you know, ask people, you know, what's driving this? When you feel that way, how do you talk to other people about it? How do you talk to yourself about it? How do you get out of it? What have you learned? And then I collected videos, which you'll see, you know, a ton here on this site, people sharing their personal stories and feelings about this. Back to my ex and him saying that to me, it's interesting because even though it felt like a gut punch to hear that, I also remember feeling like, yeah, I am, dude. And it wasn't like I was all like, yeah, I am pretty, dude. It was more just like, I am valuable. I am awesome. So for you to cut me down like that, don't buy it. You know, I think that I was able to feel that way because of three things, really. I had a really strong, loving family that I grew up with. They were really encouraging. They, of course, told me I was beautiful, because I think every parent, you know, tells their child they're beautiful and feels that way. And so having this strong, loving family who also encouraged me to not focus on that. Like, if I ever wanted to do sports, they were like, great, do sports. If you know, if I wanted to get into art, great, what can we do to help you do that? You know, I really liked reading, great, you should read more. My mom was introducing me to like French cinema at 14, so the beauty thing was not like just talked about a lot in our house. You know, it was more like, what are the activities that you're doing? What are you thinking about? What's entertaining to you right now? And then having that as a strong template really gave me a great position by which to choose the other relationships that were going to be significant in my life, including, you know, girlfriends and, you know, people I dated. I had some hits and misses with people I dated, but with girlfriends, I've pretty much scored. And, you know, that's because I chose to hang around and develop deep relationships with people who made me feel good about myself. And I remember, like, I'm still friends with a lot of people I went to high school with, and I always remember, even early on, that the thing they would always say about me was like, you're funny or you're fun. It was not about like, you're pretty and that's why we're hanging out with you. Like, that never came up. The other thing that made me feel like things were, you know, I knew that, or validating, I guess, or made me feel like I knew I was pretty, was the attention I got from other people. So again, when my ex said that to me, it's like, yeah, I know, dudes, look at me. So what I've learned as I've gotten older is that beauty is only temporary. And I mean that in two ways. And first way is the traditional sense, right? Where, you know, beauty just fades. The aesthetics that we have, that we're born with, it goes away. But the second way I mean it is that beauty is only in the moment, or in a series of moments. So, you know, will it make you stand out in a job interview? Sometimes. Will it make you stand out when you're looking to hook up or, you know, get a mate, get into a relationship with somebody? Sometimes. But if you can't back that up with substance, it just doesn't matter after a while. Sure, you might get 6 months out of it, but it will be an annoying 6 months unless you just stare at each other all the time and that's what you like to do. The other thing I've learned is that beauty and, you know, how we perceive our own beauty and what we want to put out there is something that's always going to be with us. It's not going to ever completely go away. And that's not necessarily such a bad thing. I mean, I think we always feel our best when we're presenting our best selves to, you know, any situation, whether it be at work or with friends or at a gig or, you know, whatever. And that's very individual for everybody. You know, how you present yourself is down to your personal taste and what you want to show the world. Like me, I'm, you know, a little girly, a lot girly. You know, I like the big, fluffy hair, I like some bright lips, I put on makeup. But I can tell you that the time I spend thinking about that stuff and you know, what I'm going to look like or how I'm going to present myself is maybe 30 minutes max a day. And that includes applying the makeup. So the rest of the time, I'm focused on stuff I like. That is, I think, is so key too. It's just doing stuff you like. Whether that's, you know, like I mentioned, reading, whether that's hanging out with your friends or, you know, loved ones, whether it's going to movies or concerts or, you know, drinking a beer and watching TV, whether it's doing a good job at work. I actually like to do a good job at work. I like to do a good job in anything that I invest my time in. So focused on things that I like, I'm way, way, way less focused on what I look like. So I guess where I wrap up is where I began with the project, and that is really, it's really about what I hope that it achieves. What I'm hoping for is that it provides a safe place for you to come and talk about these things, whether it's on comments, whether it's you uploading your own video. There's never going to be a comment that's allowed that's negative on here. It just won't be allowed. So it's a safe place. I hope it provides that for you. I hope that you watch the videos and that you, I know you'll find at least there's such a diverse group of voices in this mix of the, you know, relaunch. There's going to be at least a few people that you relate to. There will be. There will be, you know, things that I hope you glean from this that you can take to heart and maybe shift your mindset a little bit and think about something differently that will help you sort of manage that feeling. I suppose, I just hope it helps.